Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Castle Nathria's second balance patch has been live for a couple of days now, and there is at least one card that people are often wondering, okay, why was this card not nerfed? And the card that I'm talking about is of course Theotar, the Mad Duke. 4-mana 3/3 battlecry, discover a card in each player's hand and swap them. So it's hand disruption to the utmost, actually stealing the card from your hand and making it usable for the other player. And why is this kind of card allowed to roam free? This was asked so many times that the developers actually went ahead and answered some of these questions on Twitter. So let's see what Aleco has to say. Getting a lot of questions about Theotar. Happy to add a bit of context as to why we didn't change him this patch. We definitely talked about him, but decided against changes for a few reasons. The biggest reason is that our focus this patch was on high confidence changes. We weren't high confidence in what the meta would like if we changed Theo, especially with all the other changes we were doing. We really wanted this patch to improve things and weren't looking to take big risks, so we decided it was better to wait and see how things land. We're also hitting a number of cards this patch, Guff, Dawngrasp, the Kael Brand Denatrius combo, that Theo is being played to counter. There's a chance he goes down in win rate, play rate naturally. If he doesn't, he'll definitely be a card we'll discuss again next patch window. Okay, so this official explanation, I think this is a little bit bleak. I mean, has Blizzard had high confidence in what the meta is going to look like after the other changes? Like they reverted the admin change in this patch. The changes to Paladin in particular have not done anything for the class. The changes to Enrage Warrior actually did a little bit, but still didn't make that into a playable deck. So they have actually put in a lot of changes that have not had much of any effect. And I mean, you probably don't do changes and expect them to have no effect, like you expect changes to have effect. So, alright, I'm just a little bit uncertain about their modeling of the meta in general and what they expect their changes to affect. But be that as it may, there's a chance Theo goes down in win rate, play rate naturally. So what has happened with the patch? Obviously, these are still the very early days of the patch, but this is the representation of some of the top cards in decks at the moment. And Theotar, the Mad Duke, in 55.4% of decks. That is a lot of decks, and its popularity has actually only been going up. Then again, we can also see some other interesting things like, hey, we want to get rid of that Brand Kael'thas Denatrius combo. Well, Brand Bronzebeard is the second most popular card still, just not together with Kael'thas and Denatrius necessarily. And Sire Denatrius, one of the most popular cards as well, 42.8%, also going up. And one thing that I want to point out here is that Theotar is hand disruption. But why is Theotar being played? If every card was of equal value, then you wouldn't want to switch one of your cards for one of your opponent's cards. Theotar is being played so much because there are some very, very powerful cards in the meta. And those powerful cards are just winning games, so you have to find a way to counter them. And that is also why one of the most played cards right now is Mutanus, the Devourer. Mutanus the Devourer has been the hand disruption card that we have had before. It just hasn't been particularly strong. Sure, you take in Mutanus every once in a while, but Mutanus being that popular, Theo is just a better version of Mutanus for this purpose. Mutanus being that popular means that Theo is played because people still feel that they need a lot of hand disruption. And they need a lot of hand disruption. Okay, well, it's great against Guff, great against Dawngrasp. Theotar can affect those, Mutanus can't. But Mutanus can hit the biggest jackpot, which is Sire Denatrius. Sire Denatrius is by far the most important card in the current standard format. Sire Denatrius is really the thing that is shaping the whole meta. Sire Denatrius just wins games when it's played. You have to find an answer to that. Either you have to kill the opponent so fast that they never get to play their Sire, or you will have to have hand disruption that will interrupt the Sire. And the best way to do that is with Theotar. But the power of Sire Denatrius is also the reason Mutanus the Devourer is played so much. So nerfing Theotar, like, are we even asking the right question? Should we be asking why are you not nerfing Sire Denatrius? And Blizzard is very, very insistent on not nerfing Sire Denatrius. They nerfed Kael'thas just for that one combo. And they could have nerfed Denatrius and then Kael'thas would not have even mattered. But no, they don't want to touch Sire Denatrius, which is like this iconic character, which is the centerpiece of their design. And the real problem is that the centerpiece of their design is flawed. The whole idea of building standard format around Denaturus, that is the main problem, and not Theotar. If Denaturus wasn't such a big deal, Mutants would see only a fraction of the play that it currently does. Theotar play rate would immediately go down. And the other thing they mentioned, Theotar win rate. Theotar win rate is not a thing even now. Theotar is among the 3 worst cards in majority of decks it's in. Like the main exception is Quest Priest, because Quest Priest really loves to have a great 4-drop, a 4-drop that can also fix their curve so that they can get a 5-drop. And yeah, Theotar is super good in Quest Priest, but Quest Priest is not that popular. That's not a big deal. So why has Theotar not been nerfed? Blizzard's official explanation, they don't know what would happen, and they're just going to wait and see whether maybe it is going to be played less. But the thing is, if they hit Theotar and they don't hit Denaturus, then we're going to be in a world of hurt, and that's going to be so much worse. So at some point I think Blizzard will have to admit that the whole concept of their expansion is just flawed, and try to somehow parse it all together in the final design. So far they have not been willing to do that, but we'll see, maybe in the next patch. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.